Good Monday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Garden State Weather Premium on YouTube, Garden State Weather on Facebook, Garden State WX, and Garden State WEA on Twitter when I'm available on Twitter. That depends. Primarily here on Facebook and here in video form right here on Garden State Weather Premium on YouTube. I'm meteorologist Robert Smith on this Monday afternoon, the 7th of February 2022. And I'm going to take a look at some storm threats here and the overall upper atmospheric pattern going forward. Last night's stratosphere here from the European Model Guidance shows a very strong and consolidated polar vortex here over the poles. And over the next, we have a little bit of a warming here, but it's not very strong. Trying to push into and break this up, or at least stretch it. But as we get really into the next 10 days, it's consolidated and strong, and it's lifting right back over the poles. So this doesn't really mean that winter is over, but it does mean that the chances for significant cold will be diminishing as we head into the latter part of February. Temperature anomalies here at 10 millibars in the stratosphere here. Starting out on a chilly side here of note, and then gradual warming. And by the time we get out to 10 days, all of the cold air is locked all the way up on the other side of the pole, and we're left in basically a neutral to warm state at 10 millibars. So this is where the vortex would be, and underneath it, a warming trend. As shown, we have no North Atlantic ice oscillation blocking here in a negative phase, and the forecast really, all the way pretty much to the end of February here, is unfavorable for any kind of blocking to slow systems down along the East Coast. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to see winter precipitation types, but major winter storms under this kind of configuration doesn't seem highly likely, unless you pull a rabbit out of a hat. Arctic ice oscillation pretty much in the same high territory here of not so good if you're going to really want an East Coast snowstorm. And the PNA, this is not really favorable either. When we look at the 500 millibar pattern across North America here on the European Model Guidance from last night, well, a couple of things. We still have a large amount of disturbances here rotating around these trough, these closed lows here in the in southeastern Canada, in the polar jet. Okay, so they're going to be driving cold fronts through, but most of these trough axes are neutral. Now, the opportunity for some kind of a winter storm here was advertised on and off to some degree by the European Model Guidance as we head into Sunday or Monday here, which is Super Bowl or Monday Valentine's Day. This looked pretty good originally because now we have disturbances that are, forming this trough in a neutral and then negative state here. And the ridge axis here is proper, but there's other disturbances just off the coast here. So there's a change in wavelengths here, and as a result of this doesn't really get to amplify, and the European Model Guidance is now seeing that, and by the time we get to Monday, February 14th, the trough axis is off the coast, and it's neutral to actually negative here, but it is being impinged by this disturbance here and this very strong jet structure here. So that means the chances for a snowstorm here, not so good. Southern New England, again, that seems highly probable here. And then as we go through the next 10 days, finally out to by the time we get to the 17th here, again, short waves in the polar flow, cut-off lows here off of the southwest coast here of California. And these are neutrally tilted troughs and warm air preceding this at the 500 millibar level. So, if you really want a snowstorm here, this kind of pattern doesn't really support. Looking at the PVA, the 500 millibar cyclonic relative vorticity here, well, lots of cold fronts coming through, short waves, but everything is kind of sheared out. Now, As we head later into the week, this is what looked promising. On Friday, here was the southern branch here and the northern branch, and this is ahead of this, so there's no phasing going on over here. Here's high pressure building in off the west coast. Now, this would have been favorable for something as disturbances rotate over the top and then down the base of the trough here, which is positively tilted as we head into Saturday morning, and it becomes neutrally tilted with other disturbances here riding over the top of this ridge building into the west coast and the Intermountain region. Now this is interesting because it goes neutral as we head into Sunday afternoon, the 13th, which is Super Bowl Sunday, and then it turns it slightly negative. The problem here is that the ridge axis is giving way to this disturbance and other disturbances here south of the Aleutian Islands. So this is going to get kicked downstream, and that's going to kick this off the East Coast. So what happens under these kinds of situations is that New England, once again, gets a snowstorm, but not so for us, as you can see what is going on here in this pattern. And even if we move this further here, these cutoff lows, this looks like a Rex block here, high pressure over low pressure. So we have Rex block developing in the Pacific. Wavelengths are now shortening a bit. And, well, there's our Rex block here. Everything's blocked up in the Pacific here. And then we have a west to east flow predominantly across the eastern United States as we head into the 16th, 17th, and 18th. So this, again, this pattern does not look favorable. Now, I know what you must be saying to yourself. Here comes the isentropic lift. Here comes the snow spreading in through Virginia, Tennessee, the Carolinas, and then eventually into southern New Jersey, Delmarva. And here is, now this is the operational model. We don't see support on the 50 members of the EPS, which is the ensemble blend of all 50 model guidances here. So this is the operational run, and it shows a snowstorm here, or at least portions of the area would see a snowstorm here from southern New England down through the Delmarva on Monday morning, the 14th. And then this would be a southern New England coastal storm once again as it bombs out. The question marks here is the location of the surface low and how much cold air and everything is in place. So, and it will be cold enough next Sunday and Monday to support a storm along the East Coast. But because the wavelengths are not so perfect, it's really going to take a lot. And this model guidance has been shifting from last night's run, or yesterday morning's run actually, to this. So last night's run has this. Yesterday on Sunday, it had this, okay? And then the night before, which is Sunday night, it had this again. So it's trying to figure itself out, but and the potential is there. Location matters, however. The European ensemble sea level pressure where the surface cyclone locations will be located. Well, here's this for today, going out to sea. Okay, see that? There's another low moving in, and here's the question mark for the weekend again. Now, the ensemble, the operational model shows something, and it's going back and forth with this and its location and how much snow. But the EPS data says, I don't think so. It's these low pressure areas are too strung out, and this is a combination of all of the members. The ensemble mean, this is an ensemble mean from all of the members here. So as we get into Sunday the 13th and 14th here, it's like all over the place. And this morning's NCEP GEFS, which is the ensemble mean low pressure centers here off our global model here. Well, this makes sense for, again, for today and tomorrow. And then as we head into the weekend in question, well, not seeing that support this is ahead of the other model guidance, and this guidance doesn't see what the European is seeing, and it's even further stretched and further away from the forecast area, and this is just all high pressure in here. So again, there's a chance that something could happen, but the teleconnections say, well, it has to be at the right time and the right timing. Last night's operational model here from the European guidance, again, the coast, southern New Jersey, New York City area, and points east would get snow under last night's model guidance here in southern New England and the coast as well. This is 24-hour snowfall, not the total. We can do total. And as you can see, points to the coast and east into southern New England. Now, yesterday's model run looked like this. Nothing. Okay. So there's big question marks here. We don't have high latitude blocking. The EPO is off. The Arcticus oscillation is off. So timing is key. Yes, it is. And once again, going back, none of the other model guidance sees this storm like the European model guidance saw last night. There is no support even on its ensemble run from last night as well. As we get into Monday, there's no support here of this storm. All of this snow here that you see across the lakes into New York State, downwind the lakes here, and of course across southeastern Canada and Maine here. This is all supported by areas of low pressure, cold frontal passages, northwesterly flow, and nothing here. Okay, we can see this. And then even the European model guidance's EPS total snowfall through the next 15 days. This is a total. Looks very bleak here on the ensemble spread, all 50 members. And so, of course, we'll continue to monitor our precipitation exiting with this warm air advection pattern developing across the area this afternoon. Most of this now dwindling, but here comes the rain and some snow and ice, but mostly by this time, by tomorrow, late tonight, tomorrow morning, we will have already warmed up enough so that all of this will be in the form of rain as this area of low pressure off of Charleston lifts to the north and east. So tomorrow's not a pretty day, but it's not a snowy one here either. Not here, but interior Connecticut, that could be another story. And New England as well.